Welcome to Sipping TikTok About.
Yeah, really loud.
Welcome to Sipping TikTok About.
Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco. This is another What If Small Council video, and yeah, we're covering Baelon Targaryen, Baelon the Brave, the Spring Prince. What if he survived his burst belly and then became king at 103 AC? 103. Yeah, no council 101. None of that crap, right? He lived. Boom, bang, boom, king. So yeah, if you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm about to describe it. My name is Taco, and I make these what if vids. How's it going? No editing, I just go. What's up? What is this? I'll be making what if videos in the vein of my small councils, or in the vein of small councils. It stemmed from a comment on my Daemon Blackfyre Kingsguard vid that I made. Go watch that. Asking for small council form. This has stemmed into me thinking of other would-be kings. I will pull from existing lore, and I will not make up any characters from the scratch, or scratch. And this is all based on lore. This is all based on lore, and it's just my opinion. So please tell me your small council in the comments. Yeah, I have to state that. This is probably not going to be the type of small, like, we're not all going to be the same, right? Like, small councils, like, I could go a lot of different ways, especially this one. I feel like I could have gone a million ways, and I went one way. So if you disagree, let me know. Like, your opinion's just as valid as mine. Mine's just as valid as yours. None of us are George, right? So this is just what we think. This is a dumb little exercise. And yeah, this is a way for me to explore kind of a what-if universe, but looking at it through the lens of what their small council would look like. And yeah, this was in a poll that came out like a little bit ago. And I think it got second place. But yeah, it's whatever. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Let's talk about Baelor. So what's the split? So there's a very simple split. He survives his burst belly somehow. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that the Runcer, who I'm gonna get to, the Grand Maester, didn't know it was a burst belly. He just like gives him milk and a poppy for pain, and then after he dies, he opens him up during an autopsy, and realizes that it's a burst belly. Maybe he knew it was. Maybe in this timeline he knows it's one, and then can somehow treat that specifically. I don't know. I know there's probably not appendectomies back then. Somebody's going to go, the first appendectomy was in year 1218. Like, oh, cool. They could have done one then. I don't know. I don't know how he survives it. Maybe it doesn't fully rupture in this timeline. I survived having a burst belly. I don't have an appendix, but I had modern medicine and an appendectomy. Something that Baelon does not have. So I'm not sure. If you guys are looking for any more than he survives it, I'm not giving you any more than that. that's what I got. He didn't die from the burst belly. It just burst, didn't hurt, and it probably didn't fully burst, or else it would have killed him. So yeah, he survives it. That's it. So no council one-on-one. No council 101 because Baelon did not die. So when old King Jaehaerys dies in a 103, Baelon is there to take over because he has named his heir. He does need to deal with division in his court with Corlys leaving after Baelon got named heir. So that's still a thing. So it's not, there's still tensions, right? Because remember, Corlys only in the show was actually on Viserys' small council. In the book, he isn't. And he actually leaves a small council right after Aemon dies, and then after Baelon's older brother Aemon, who I did do a what if for him. If Stinger dies, or if Stinger kills Jaehaerys, I got that what if. It came out a little while ago. Go watch it. But yeah, so Corlys did already leave, so there is already that division. He was never actually on the small council for Viserys. He left way before that, unlike in the show. So yeah, so let's just talk about King Baelon. I hope I don't call him Baelor. I probably already have. Baelon. The Spring Prince. He's a spring pig. Wait, no, that's Charlotte's Web. I see him trying to secure his rule with allies more than trying to bring in his rivals. Yeah, I don't see this guy as really knowing that the division's a big deal, right? Unlike Sarah's later on who totally should have. But I think of Baelon is like, I think he's going to try to really secure his position by bringing in his friends. I'll explain what I mean by that. So he was very loved by the small folk and lords alike. And I see him being a very strong king, but still with that division, which we'll get to once we get to Master Ships. But yeah, so I see him really taking the bull by the horns. He's been hand for a while at this point, right? And not only has he been hand for a long time, but he's been really, like, Jaehaerys kind of like steps back, and Baelon's been like kind of ruling the kingdom for quite a while. And he is really loved by the small folk. He's really confident. So I do see him like going in there and really trying to rule the kingdom, and less about, all right, let's try to. I don't think he's being very proactive. I think the best offense is a good offense, right? He's not really putting up a defense. The best defense is a good offense. I think that's how he is when it comes to division at court. His hand, I already clicked it. This is going to be, I think, the most controversial in how I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to go with his hand being Viserys. I know it's a hard one. I don't know how his relationship was with Otto, and I don't see him calling him to court. Why did I bring up Otto Hightower? Well, he's hand in this timeline. He becomes hand right after Baelon dies in the original timeline, right? So I wanted to look. I couldn't see if Otto already lived in King's Landing. So I don't know if Jaehaerys brought in Otto because he just heard that he's really a good leader. The only hint that I could get is that after Otto became hand, he has to bring his family to court. And he brings Alicent Hightower to court, and she like starts reading the old King Jaehaerys and whatever, Jerry and stuff. But so that makes me believe that if his family wasn't there, maybe he wasn't there, and therefore his presence wasn't really up there. So I don't actually think he had a long, like, if you guys disagree, you guys can disagree, but I don't think he really had a relationship with Baelon, at least none that I could see. And I do think, since here, let me just read the card. It will say it. Simply read the card. It's going to be wonderful, really. Yeah, so I don't see him calling him to court, but I do think Baelon would double down and try to get his son ready for rule, right? He is like, Viserys, I'm the heir. Viserys will remain to be my heir. And so he is he's getting his son ready for rule, knowing that this 26-year-old party boy needs some polish, right? This isn't show Viserys. This is book Viserys, who's really about spending money and throwing parties and letting somebody else rule the kingdom. This isn't that timeline. Baelon gets to actually try to whip him into shape a little bit. And I think he would. I don't know if Viserys would actually become a good king, but I think Baelon would do his best to try to get Viserys more ready for rule, because he is just a 26-year-old party boy. Just like how he was named, just like how Baelon was named Hand of the King under Old King Jaehaerys, when he was named heir. Maybe this time under his father, he will make Viserys a strong ruler. Maybe time under his father will make Viserys a stronger ruler when he takes over. So what did I just say there? So he's following the example of Old King Jaehaerys, where Jaehaerys made Baelon hand when he became heir. So he's going to make Viserys hand just like how his dad made him hand, and hopefully getting him a lot more ready to rule. Unlike him going, oh, well, Otto did it, and now Otto's going to do it for me. Otto's not here. A strong hand of the king isn't here to rule it for you. He's making him do it. And also, if you're like, but Viserys isn't a strong hand of the king. Baelon's a strong king. Baelon doesn't need Otto Hightower or doesn't need anybody else to rule for him. Baelon can just rule. So he can have, since he's a good king, in my eyes, he can have Viserys be a not strong hand and try to get him ready. I'm done talking about Viserys, but that's my idea behind him being named hand. All right. Coin. Lyman Beesbury. Yeah, no changes here. Lyman was already head of the master of coin. So let those bees buzz, 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 buzz. Yeah, Lyman's just gonna be him. All right, so here's the first hard one. Master of ships. Because I originally thought when I thought this, I was like, oh yeah, Corley's done. No, I don't think Corley's would. So Cameron Tarth. All right, this is a weird one. But Corley's left back in 92 AC when Rhaenys was passed over for Baelon, and I don't see him returning. Though I do think that Baelon would ask him. I do think that he would. But he wouldn't dare ask a different Valerion, right? So really, when it comes to Masters of Ships, you got Valerians and then one other red wine at this point. But we don't know who the current red wine is. That's what I'm about to say. And if you don't go to Corley's, I think it would be really dumb if he went to like a different Valerion. He's got cousins. He could go to them. I think that's a really bad decision. I don't think it's a decision Baelon would make. So he would go to somebody else. So yeah, no notable red wines at this time. So I had to search the histories. So there were a bunch of red wines. Ryan red wine, which we'll get to, who's currently like on the Kingsguard. He has two older brothers, but it appears that both of those guys died before now, right? We haven't seen them since like way back in the middle of the reign of King Jaehaerys, right? And then it was like after their dad died, the other one died not too long after. And one of them had like other stuff going on. So we're not really, I'm not sure if any of them are alive, but it didn't feel like any of them were. So I didn't go with a red wine. So I went with this. So like I said, I searched through the histories and I found Cameron Tarth. So Baelon fought alongside Cameron with Aemon, his brother, when his brother died on Tarth. So Cameron was with Baelon's older brother Aemon when Aemon died. So Baelon went and had to take care of this. It was like a bunch of rebels. They were fleeing near, I believe. I should have had that written down, but they were stationed on Tarth. They went to go shoot Cameron Tarth and accidentally shot Aemon and killed Aemon. And then Baelon shows up, does a bunch of dragon stuff, and then when he arrives back in King's Landing, woo, the small folk are like, yeah, Baelon. I think two possible things could happen here. Either he hates Cameron or they became friends. And since in our main timeline, Cameron then shows up for, I think it's Cameron. It said Lord Tarth, but I think it's Cameron shows up for the council one-on-one in the 101 in the main timeline, which leads me to believe that there was still a good relationship between the Targaryens and Cameron, right? If Cameron feels guilt for getting Aemon killed, I don't think he would have showed up at the council one-on-one. I know that's not a lot to go off of, but I think he would try to get somebody in the Stormlands in, and the only other, I don't think he would go for a red wine because there isn't any. I don't think he would go for a Valerian. And then I was looking for islands and other things like that, and I went with Cameron Tarth. Super weird, I know, but I like it. There's not much here to go on. This is kind of my weird one. If you disagree with that one, yeah, 100%. I feel that's fine. You can disagree with that one. Master of Whispers, none. Moving on. Yeah, at this point, there's only been one Master of Whispers, and that's Taina the Tower, and that was for Maegor. And most of the family, unlike a lot of the fandom, I've learned, shun Maegor and don't try to go by Maegor's example. Because I said that, there's somebody in the comments going, Maegor's the best king ever, Maegor the Wise. Man, we have a weird fandom. But yeah, so no Master of Whispers. All right, here's another weird one. Master of Laws, I'm going with Gunther Royce. Hear me out. So I looked for the Veil of Aaron for Master of Laws. I was like, all right, I'm going to look for the Veil of Aaron. Roderick Aaron served as Master of Laws for a very long time. And then for a long time, and Emma Aaron, his daughter, with Della Targaryen, was married to Baelon's son, Viserys. Okay, so what did I just say? There was a guy named Roderick Arryn who was a Master of Laws for a very long time under old King Jaehaerys. And then as he was an older man with already grown kids, he marries teenager Della, right? Dela Targaryen. Ugh. And Dela dies in like right after childbirth, right after that, right? And their kid is Aemma Arryn. And then Aemma marries Viserys. So those are two reasons, because there was a really strong Master of Laws from there that ruled throughout his dad's time. So maybe he wants to go look there. And also, you got ties to the family, right? Maybe you want to look at somebody who's related to your daughter-in-law, the lady Aemma Arryn, who married your son Viserys, right? So kind of strengthening those family ties. So how do I come up with a Royce here? Hear me out. This is, as you see, I had to go down a rabbit hole to find Gunther. So maybe Emma's likely brother, right? It's like, oh, maybe I'll go to the brother because Roderick's dead. But he died in 97, likely, maybe. We're pretty sure this is his brother, who died, who was killed by a storm crow. So the storm crows, stone crows, killed this Lord Arryn, who I think was Emma's brother. His daughter is Jane Arryn, which you guys know from House of Dragon. Jane Arryn, she's around her in the Dance of Dragons, right? So it's looking at how Jane becomes heir, right? And we know that when she's 3, her dad, Lord Arryn, dies from an attack from stone crows. Are we sure that's Roderick's son and Emma's brother? No, that's kind of my guess, though. The timeline really matches, but it's never specifically said. So his daughter Jane Arryn was only 3 at that time. So a guy named Royce ruled as regent as her minority. So I was gonna go Yobert, right? But he's also related, because he's a Royce, he's also related to Rhea Royce, the wife of Baelon's other son, Daemon. But it seems like he was dead by 103. Yeah, so Yobert was dead by now too, because Lady Rhea is already Lady of Runestone by 103. So he must be dead. So let's go with Gunther, who's a different Royce who would have been around at that time. We know that by 130 AC, so 27 years later, he's an old man. So and he's also known as the Bronze Giant. He's like a famous warrior. So it's safe to assume that, 27, but 30 years before, the old man was a young man, and he was in his giant prime. Yeah, he comes in the story during the Regency of the King after Dance of Dragons. So yeah, but yeah, Gunther Royce, a very cool pick for Master of Laws. Yeah, I dug deep. I dug deep to find me Gunther. But when I did, I was like, yeah, a giant dude from House Royce. Why not? Master of Laws, let's go. If you disagree with that one, yeah, that's fair. I really wanted to, you can see I wrote down my path to Gunther. So if you guys don't like that, that's completely chill. All right, Grand Maester, let's do another easy one. Runciter. So he just got named Grand Maester in 101. But in the old timeline, he was the one who treated Baelon's burst belly way back then, right? So that means he is the one that in this timeline fixed him, making him well loved by Baelon because he fixed Baelon, right? And we also know that he kept poor records. Yeah, I don't think Runciter was really a great maester. But in this timeline, he saved Baelon. So, yeah. That's it. So we got one more left, and that is Lord Commander, and that's a no-brainer. So, yeah. Ryan Redwine. No changes here, so he was already the Lord Commander, and he is a living legend. He's a legend, and he lived for a couple more years. So, yeah, he's going to stay Lord Commander. There you guys go. Odd one. This is an odd one. But I like it. If you guys... This is probably the one I'm, least... yeah, I'm for all these picks. No, I think a couple of them are goofy, and if you guys disagree with them, that's completely fair. What do you guys think of my Baelon Targaryen's small council? I had a lot of fun, though, digging for Tarth and digging for a Royce. It was actually a lot of just sitting there like, oh, I finally found it. Oh, dang, he died. Okay, what about this one? Oh, he dies at 103. What about, hey, there's a... All right, thank you guys, and that's it. What do you think? Tell me your small council, but please be polite, of course. If you disagree, that's great. I want to hear yours. If you think I'm wrong, please let me know. But please be respectful, because opinions are like assholes. That doesn't mean you have to be like one, right? So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and peace.